Hi there and welcome to Cooking with Gigi. Today we're going to be making some keto crackers. So for keto crackers what we need is shredded mozzarella cheese. We also have almond flour. There it says strictly just ground up almonds. There's no additives, there's no preservatives, there's no nothing. We're going to add some psyllium husk just to give it a bit of fiber and help absorb some of that oil from the mozzarella cheese. For spices we're going to add garlic powder and onion powder, and this is just a mixture of rosemary and flax seeds that I quickly just put through the food mill. The tools we'll need, so obviously I have an old dishwasher top here that I use a lot for making this kind of stuff so we don't mess up the counters. Pizza wheel for, you'll see when we start to cut the crackers prior to baking them. Rolling pin to roll out the dough. I've got 4 sheets of parchment paper and 3 baking sheets and a pair of rubber gloves, because I find the best way to mix this stuff up is just to get in there with your hands and just mix it until it all comes together. And so the rubber gloves help keep the food healthy and help keep your hands clean. So with that, we'll get started. First step of this is we need to take this mozzarella cheese and make it more liquid. So we will be putting this in the microwave. I put it in for about 3 minutes, and then I will stir it usually part way through that just to get it nice and melted and bubbly. After that we'll throw in our almond flour and our spices and our psyllium husk, and we'll just knead it until it comes together. But the mozzarella cheese is now melted. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put in the psyllium husk and the spices into the almond flour and give it a quick stir before we add it to the cheese. If you haven't kind of caught on, I don't really have a very scientific way of doing these things, so I just put about as much spice as I think it needs in. I'm just going to give this a quick stir so that we don't have clumps of spice. Again, the spices, you can add whatever you want. You can add nothing. You can, if you want salt or pepper, if you want other types of herbs, you just put in as much as you want. And like I said, I just find it's just best to get in there, grab that cheese, and just start squeezing it and mixing the almond flour. And there you pretty much have your dough ready to roll out. So what we're going to do is I'm going to basically try to divide this into 3 portions here, and I'm going to use the second bowl that I had the almond flour in, because one of the things that we learned is this stuff is really hard to roll out. However, if we microwave it for a short time, about 30 seconds, this dough is going to soften right up and roll out without any issue. Now I told you 4 sheets of parchment paper because, again, I find that rolling the dough in between 2 sheets of parchment paper is a good way to get a nice roll out and allows you to work with the dough without it falling apart. So we got that dough, we're just going to put it on here, press her down. It's a bit warm, but we're all adults. And put the sheet on top and then just roll it out. So I'm just going to check the thickness of this, and it looks pretty good. I got a nice big chunk of cheese there, but that's all right. And with that, I just kind of like to tidy up the edges, so this is what we use our pizza cutter for. I actually don't use it for cutting pizza because I have a rocker blade that I prefer. And all this edge scrap stuff we'll just reheat it up and re-roll it out. Now the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this thin edge part here because it's just going to burn and waste anyway, so we'll just do that, save that for later, and cut your crackers in whatever size strip that you want. Then once you've got them cut, simply lift the whole sheet onto your baking tray, and I'm going to set this aside because I will actually cook all three in the convection oven at once. You may have to experiment with your own oven as to how best to cook it. So now we've finished rolling out the dough, and as you can see, I've got actually got 4 pans of crackers here ready to put into the oven. I've got the oven set at 335 degrees Fahrenheit, and it is on the convection bake setting in my oven. Everybody has a different oven. Some are gas, some are electric, some are wood pellets. So you're going to have to figure out what works best for your oven. I usually put these in and let them cook for about 10 or 12 minutes and then check on them. The edge ones tend to be a little bit thinner, so once they are done, I will take them out and remove them and put the pans back in to let the thicker crackers in the middle cook. So these have been cooking for about 14 minutes now, and as you can see, some of them are starting to brown up really nicely, and I don't want to get them too overdone, so I'm going to basically just take this row off and pop these back into the oven for a little bit longer and keep on looking. This to me is kind of the color that you're looking to get the whole batch as close as possible to. So there you have it. We've finished cooking the first 3 trays, and we've got a pile of crackers here. We're just going to let them cool down. As you can tell, some are a little thicker than others, so some will be a little bit crispier than others. It will take a day for them to crispen up nicely. Don't expect them to be crisp right off the bat here. The other thing is parchment paper is still good, so just fold it up and put it away for the next time you need a piece of parchment paper. Storage for these, the best storage is in a paper bag. You can get these free at the liquor store with a purchase. Put them in the paper bag, put the bag somewhere where you don't mind that won't get oily, because the oil will soak into the bag. These will keep several weeks if they last that long. We just put ours in a bag and put a little paper clip on the top and seal them up. I hope you enjoyed that. We'll have a serving suggestion in a minute.